I remember the exact moment the world tilted beneath my feet. It was a Friday evening. The house quiet except for the faint hum of the dishwasher, and she said it as casually as if we were discussing dinner plans. "I'm tired of pretending to like your family." I froze mid-step in the kitchen, the knife in my hand hovering over a bell pepper. My own blood felt heavier, slower. What do you mean?" I asked, though a part of me already feared the answer. I can't keep pretending to laugh at their jokes or smile at their gatherings. "It's exhausting," she said, her eyes avoiding mine, staring instead at a speck on the counter that wasn't there. I wanted to shake her, to make her see the weight of those words. My family, my sister, my parents, even my cranky uncle, were everything I had. And she, my wife of 6 years, had just told me she'd been pretending all this time. But there was more to it than just dislike. I could feel it. A crack in her voice betrayed something deeper, a secret I hadn't yet named. The next few weeks passed like trudging through fog. Every laugh she forced, every forced compliment about a family dinner, now felt like a lie. I started noticing little things. The lingering scent of a perfume that wasn't mine, the sudden late-night text she hastily silenced when I walked by, the way her eyes darted toward the door when someone called her mid-meal. One evening, I decided to follow her instincts instead of her words. She had left for yoga with a friend, but the text I found, hidden deep in a folder on our shared laptop, wasn't about stretching or meditation. It was a message from a man named Greg. "Had a great time tonight. Can't wait for next time." I felt my chest tighten, a painful squeeze that left me dizzy. My first thought was denial. Maybe I was reading too much into it. Maybe it was harmless. But then came the second message, and the third, each one more intimate, more familiar than the last. When I confronted her, she didn't even flinch. "You're overreacting," she said, voice calm but cold. "I just needed someone who actually enjoys being with my family. Isn't that what you wanted? Happiness for me?" I wanted to scream. I wanted to make her feel the fracture she had caused. Instead, I simply nodded, the anger dissolving into numb disbelief. My stomach churned, a heavy mix of sorrow and rage. I realized painfully that the woman I had married, the one I had trusted with every fiber of my being, was capable of compartmentalizing her life in ways I couldn't comprehend. Over the following days, I watched her interact with me and my family with an eerie precision. Smiles were timed, laughter carefully measured, small gestures calculated. Meanwhile, her phone buzzed relentlessly in her purse. And each time I caught a glimpse of her screen, there was Greg, in bold letters, a reminder that my world was unraveling. Then came the night of the annual family barbecue. I had planned it meticulously, hoping maybe she would see what she was losing. But when she arrived, her eyes lit up, not at me, but at Greg, who had shown up coincidentally as a friend of a friend. I watched her lean into him, whisper something I couldn't hear, and felt my heart shatter in slow, deliberate pieces. After everyone left, she turned to me as if nothing had happened. "I didn't want it to end like this," she said softly. I couldn't even meet her gaze. "I already lost you," I whispered. I just didn't know I was that naive. The next weeks were a blur of packing empty rooms and quiet nights that echoed with memories of laughter now poisoned by betrayal. I didn't cry often, but when I did, it was in the quiet of our empty living room, the walls bearing witness to the collapse of something I had thought unbreakable. Eventually, I found solace not in her absence, but in reality's cruel honesty. She had chosen someone else, someone who could tolerate my family, someone who fit her narrative. I had been blindsided, yes, but I also realized something crucial. Trust, once broken, could not be mended by apologies or justifications. Standing alone in our backyard one evening, the summer wind stirring the leaves, I finally let myself breathe. The betrayal would scar me forever, but it also clarified something painfully simple. Love without respect and honesty is nothing but an illusion. And as I watched the horizon darken, a quiet resolve settled in me. I would rebuild, carefully and deliberately, not with her, not with someone who had divided my world, but with the knowledge that one day, someone who truly belonged in my life, someone who would embrace all of me, flaws and family included, would appear. Until then, I would grieve, but I would also endure. Because some betrayals don't just break you. They teach you who you are meant to be without the weight of someone else's deception.